Basta all hits, all Pinoy. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan. V81 Radio, V81 Radio. 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 V81 Radio, V81 Radio.
Our Almighty God, Creator of heaven and earth, Father and lover of our soul, you sit on your throne of mercy and rule with your love and faithfulness. You are full of grace. We acknowledge your presence in our lives. Nothing is hidden in your eyes, even our challenges and struggles in life. We come to you with faith. We ask not only for our daily spiritual bread, but to seek your forgiveness and undeserving favor to heal our land, our family members, our friends and neighbors, even our enemies with COVID-19 and other diseases. Holy Spirit, help us to deepen our faith and see the opportunity to believe, obey, and worship. As we face this pandemic, you are Lord and God. Encourage us and change our hearts, not to fear, but to be full of hope and find ourselves praying and meditating your word. We believe no works of the enemy prosper to your children. Abba, Father, we believe that your Son Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior. He is the truth in our salvation. Hear our prayers, O Lord, and most of all, not our will, but thy will be done. We pray this in Jesus' name, the name above all names, who was and is to come. Amen.
Naghahatid saya sa mga Pinoy, mga kanta at programang Tatak Pinoy. Napapanood at napapakinggan kahit saan ka man. Streaming worldwide. In South Manila, this is V81 Radio.
Malayo ka man sa iyong pamilya, dito ay hindi ka nag-iisa. Tiyak ito'y iyong hahanap-hanapin, dahil ito ang nagpapasaya sa atin. Ito ang radio ko. V81 Radio. Radio. Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y mapapakinggan.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program anchors and producers and do not necessarily reflect the policies and position of this station. Here now is the program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison, together with her fellow millennials, they will be making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Everyone, so we're now watching different shows created to inspire and motivate the youth of the world. I'm Erika Mison, your host, and okay, so last week I interviewed three of my college classmates. The season was following, making a difference. So season one, I did two episodes, I have episodes where I was constantly just a few ago, to rest and talk. So if you want to watch that episode, you guys, then you can find that episode here on Making a Difference. And we are also on YouTube, so you can watch it after. Okay, so now, for today's episode, I invited an organization called Youthlead Philippines. So I have three of their officers here today, and yeah. Why don't I introduce them to you? So we have William Aranilla, who is the Vice President. We have Nessie Binatero, who is the Secretary General, and we have Florence Salvo, who is the Counselor. Hi, everyone!
Hello. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon. Okay, so they're actually my kuyas and ate. So, I will be, I don't know. But okay, napansin ko you guys are all together right now. Where are you currently based?
We're here sa Tagbilaran City po, Bohol. And then we're here together in a house of the friend who's actually admin officer ng Youthlead Philippines Incorporated.
Okay, so you guys are based from Bohol pala. This is the first time that I'm interviewing someone outside Luzon. So, this is going to be really exciting. Kamusta naman kayo dyan sa Bohol?
We're fine. Actually, Bohol is under MGCQ, and then though we are in MGCQ, but then we also follow the protocols, like for example, social distancing, wearing of masks, and actually today we are if able to ride on public transport, we're gonna wear face shield.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So
And
it's also. Mhm.
Yeah,
And
continue.
slowly, Miss Erica, we can actually see the resilience among Boholanos that we're starting to go back to. I mean, I know it's a new normal, but we're trying
Cope with.
to cope with this pandemic and make this a better normal.
Okay. So it's also required then, no, yung face shields. Kasi they also recently required it here in Metro Manila to wear face shield. So there as well. But I'm glad you're all okay there in Bohol. Kamusta naman yung cases there, if I may ask?
Yeah, the cases are actually increasing because of the may mga LSIs, locally stranded individuals. But the government actually is doing its best
Okay.
how to mitigate it naman and to observe the healthy and safe protocols.
Okay, at least you're all safe there, no? And you can be together because you're in MGCQ na. Kami MECQ pa rin. Okay. So, since you're all together, maybe you could introduce yourselves, give a brief background, saan kayo nag-aral, and then what you're doing now also. So, maybe we could start with Kuya William. Kuya.
Yes. Thank you, Erika. I'm William Aranilla. My friends, my colleagues used to call me Kuya Yam. I am a teacher by profession, and I am the Vice President of Youthlead Philippines. I graduated with Master's. It's actually Master of Arts in English at University of Bohol. And presently, I am connected with Tagbilaran City College as the Research and Extension Coordinator.
Wow. So, what do you do as the research and extension coordinator?
Well, I am delighted to share with you, Miss Erica, and to all the viewers out there that Tagbilaran City College is actually a starting. It's actually a starting college here in Bohol. It's a local college actually. It started last year.
We just opened
Yeah,
last
it
year.
was it opened last year to the many Boholanos, not only Tagbilaranos but also the Boholanos. And we're lucky enough to be part of the technical team, of the admin team, to actually perfect our craft, most especially in the field of academe.
Oh,
In,
congrats on that, huh?
thank you. Thank you. In the research, Miss Erica, lately, yeah, we're still developing, building up our offices. No, I don't know po.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice. That's really nice
And
to hear.
one
Yeah.
last also, what is the amazing thing about the school is that most of the admin officers or the administrative staff are actually young, dynamic. Yeah,
Okay. How
because
young?
the mayor hired the mayor invested really in the young people who are young professionals who also excel in their own fields of interest.
That's really so how young usually ano yung age range?
As young as 20 until like 35, 40. I think the oldest not it. Eldest is I think old 40.
40.
40.
Galing. Congrats on that. Congrats. Okay. Thank you, Kuya William. Okay. Then we have Ate Nessie, who is beside Kuya William.
Okay, so hello everyone. Maayong hapon. That's magandang hapon in Bisaya. I'm Nessie. You can call me Ate Nessie. I'm also connected with Tagbilaran City College as a school registrar. So I and Kuya Yam are colleagues also in not just in Youthlead Philippines but also in the workplace. I graduated Master of Arts in Curriculum Development, Design and Supervision in St. Paul University, Manila. And also, I'm a teacher by profession, but currently I'm the school registrar.
Okay. So Ate Nessie, you grew up naman in Bohol and then you just went to Manila for college.
And I took up my master's in St. Paul, Manila.
Sorry, yeah,
But our instructors or professors are the ones coming here in Bohol during weekends to have our classes with us. It's a special program. But we do actually go to St. Paul if it's vacation, like if it's summer rather. So if there are no if it's free time for us here like summer, pupunta kami sa St. Paul para i-continue yung pag-aaral namin sa masters.
Oh, okay, you can do that. I didn't know. That's a very nice program. Okay.
Yeah, it's a special program ng SPU Manila.
Galing, galing. Thank you, Ate Nessie. And then last, of course, we have Kuya Florence.
Hello, good afternoon. My hapon to all of you. No, I am Florence, but my real name is Florencio. But my friends call me Florence. I graduated Bachelor of Science in Customs Administration last 2015, and last March I completed my units in uh, qualifying program for education at University of Bohol. At the same time, I am um, uh, the Student Affairs Office of PMI Colleges Bohol. And currently taking up also my master's in public administration in the same university.
Wow, public ad naman. So, different, sort of similar yung mga backgrounds nyo in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but public. How is the public administration there? Do you like it naman so far?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. These are the officers of Youthlead Philippines. So I'm sure the viewers would want to know kung ano ba talaga ang Youthlead Philippines, kung ano yung ginagawa ng Youthlead Philippines. So maybe you could give us a brief background on what advocacy Youthlead Philippines stands for.
Thank you, Miss Erika. So thank you also to the team for inviting us here to share to all what is or who is really Youth in the Philippines. I know many of you are asking, ano ba or sino ba talaga itong si Youthlead? Saan ba ito nakabase? So Youth in the Philippines, Youthlead stands for Youth Leadership, Excellence for Active Development. Philippines Incorporated. Yes, yun yung meaning ng Youthlead. It's actually a non-stop, non-profit, non-political, and of course, a youth-focused development organization. Our advocacy is for regional leadership. That's actually our primary advocacy. And it was founded on January 15, 2011 by Boholano young professionals and students led by Mr. Metodio B. Maragino Jr. We used to call him Kuya John as our founder and chair.
Yes. So it came to Kuya John's mind during his meaningful conversation with Jesse Robredo in 2009. That was in Naga City. They had a very meaningful exchange of conversation regarding transformation or transformational leadership. So yun, na-inspire si Kuya John noong 2009. It is running his mind, and then noong 2011 nga, ayun, nakapag-talk siya together with other young leaders dito sa Bohol, and then they founded Youthlead Philippines.
Okay. So this was started in 2011, am I?
2011.
Okay, so you've been going on for quite some time, but is Youthlead Philippines only in Bohol, or is it? Do you also reach the metro?
Thank you, Ms. Erika. It's actually a national youth organization. It so happened that we are here Bohol based because all of us founding members are Boholanos. So our programs are reaching the national. Sometimes it's also reached international.
Yes, we do have more than 300 affiliate organizations and partners all over the Philippines, may it be from a school-based organization, civic organization. We also have partnerships outside Philippines.
Wow. Okay, so can you name a few countries that you're partnered with?
Okay.
Not necessarily that it's actually a country, but organizations coming from other countries. We actually, since the organization is actually giving or having two programs. First program, I'm talking about the programming of the organization now. First program is the advocacy program. And the second one is capacity building program. So may nag-i-inquire talaga ng mga organizations abroad kung we could actually give them the training program or like the capacity building program. But ano naman, sa advocacy program namin,
may mga campaigns kami.
May mga campaigns kami. So to expound further about our programming. So first is the advocacy program. So we have this let's say banner program actually is the I Transform campaign. actually to address, to meet, and to localize the Sustainable Development Goals or
Or
the
the
SDGs.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is why we launched sometime in 2012 the Philippines I Transform Young
Young
Leaders
Leaders
Convention. So it was actually held here in Bohol. Then second was there
In
in
Davao.
Davao. Then
The
third,
succeeding
succeeding
in
years
years.
na sa Baguio
sa
City
Baguio
na.
City.
Teachers
Every
camp.
In Teachers Camp
Yeah,
Baguio
yeah,
City.
yeah. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. So, of course, you have okay, so you have members naman also from the metro, no? Do you also so are all your officers based there in Bohol, or you also have officers here in the metro?
We do have officers outside Bohol or Tagbilaran. In fact, may councilors kami na taga Cebu, may councilors kami na taga Davao, may mga volunteers kami all over Philippines from Manila, from North Luzon, and even from Sultan Kudarat,
Isabela,
Isabela,
Tawi-Tawi.
Tawi-Tawi, even
You have
Alex.
Tawi-Tawi also.
Yes,
Because of our partnerships.
Yeah.
Nice.
engagement.
But as to your question, if we have officers or an officer in the metro,
Mm-mm.
maybe in the coming assembly, we can elect
Yes.
an officer coming from the metro. But our officers usually from Bohol, as what Atinesi saying, from Bohol, and then we have from Cebu, and then we also have from
Okay, yeah, because I'm very sure your organization now is really growing, no? Okay, maybe someone could explain this slide for me.
Okay, go yeah, non-government.
Okay, so we are a private institution, so we are a non-government organization or NGO, non-profit, non-staff, non-partisan. So we are actually raising our own funds through our programs. And of course, kami yung self-support kami, Miss
Self-supporting
Erika.
lang kami.
Yeah,
Through our
self-support
programs.
through our programs po. So it is actually the vision of the organization. First is for its members to become transformational leaders, sharing the same purpose and of course values. Second is we also envision that the organization will soon become the country's premier youth organization that focuses on transformational leadership.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and if I may ask, why decide on transformational leadership? Bakit yun yung advocacy ni Youthlead?
Here is the thing, Miss Erica. Many of us actually acquire the kind of leadership that is not actually worth emulating for. It's not enough. We believe that it's not enough that as a leader you only possess the required skills, knowledge, but attitude. But there's something more important than those things, and that is values. That is why transformational leadership focuses on the values, the value formation.
Yep. I agree. And that's I think, well, for me at least, no, this is the first time I'm hearing an organization whose advocacy is on transformational leadership. I'm sure you would agree with this na tayong youth, we are the future leaders. So
Yes.
yeah.
Totally
So what you're doing actually is really, really helpful. I'm very sure Youth Lead Philippines will continue to make a difference. So nakakatuwa naman, and I'm just really so happy that even outside the metro, we have youth organizations as well. So super nice hearing. Maybe we can go to the next slide if there's a next slide. Okay. Yeah, maybe somebody could explain this slide naman.
Where is it?
Transformative.
multicultural.
Ayan. So as a development entity, we are transformative, we are patriotic, multicultural, and values-based. We accept different kinds of youth from different kinds of background, gender, ethnicity. Ina-accept namin as long as they are very willing to be of service and to be of help in the organization and our programs.
Okay.
And we also foster the spirit of patriotism among them.
Patriotism.
That before you can love anything outside Philippines, you need to love first your own, and that is being a Filipino, patronize
Patronize
our
our
products.
products. We do support our the things or
The
uh,
logistics.
the logistics, the vendors.
Yeah.
We get them from our local entrepreneurs
Yeah.
as a way of patronizing and supporting them.
Every time we have this activity, like for example, I transform or trail, we really
Convention,
into local entrepreneurs, like
Yeah.
for
we
our
partner with
bags,
them.
from the bags to the anything in the kit.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
very local.
Okay, and then you know what? I'm excited to hear no more of your programs, but we will discuss that in the next segment that we're gonna have. Okay, so um, is there a next slide? Do we have a next slide?
Yes.
Okay, so
I
this was the beginning.
For the background.
Shout out to Kuya John if nanonood.
Yes. Hi, Kuya John.
Or ever dynamic Kuya John.
Ever dynamic, ever young,
Yeah.
ever brilliant, and
Yeah.
witty, and very inspirational.
The brain soul of this organization.
That's Kuya John.
That's Kuya John.
That's Kuya John. Okay, so shout out to Kuya John. Congratulations on setting Youthlead Philippines. Okay, do we have another slide next?
Next one.
Okay, yeah. So this is still the story, no? Okay, all right. So before we get into the programs, I would just like to take a very quick break. But to the viewers, we are going to be right back. We are going to get to know more about the programs naman of Youth Lead Philippines. So we will be right back after these few announcements.
Thank you.
So
Post an ad para sa item that you want to sell. Or browse through the listing to find out what you're looking for. Connect with the community to explore, discover, buy and sell. Be the boss of every transaction sa PinoyAds.ph. After this pandemic, let's support the Filipino community. Buy local, visit local, go local. 81 Radio.
All right, so we are now back to Making a Difference. This is a show created to inspire and motivate the youth of today. My name is Erika Mison, and I am your host. Okay, so before the break, I introduced Youthlead Philippines. Now, Youthlead Philippines is an NGO that is actually based in Bohol. They focus on transformational leadership. Now, I have three officers with me here today, and I'd like to call them back onto the screen. We have Kuya William Aranilla, he is the Vice President, and we have Atenesi Binatero, who is the Secretary General, and Kuya Florence Salvo, who is the counselor for Youthlead Philippines. So, ayan. For those of you who are just tuning in right now, don't worry, you didn't miss out on a lot. I feel like dito po kayo nood talaga because we will be we will be talking about the programs of Youthlead Philippines. Now, I'm actually curious because they are a youth organization that focuses on transformational leadership. So I would want to know what kind of programs you provide in order to really send out that message na okay, we want to train you um, in terms of the values in becoming a leader. So, sige, let's get started. Who maybe we can talk about now about the programs.
Thank you, Miss Erica. Going back to the programming of Youth Lead Philippines, it is actually divided into two. First is the advocacy program. Second is the capacity building program. Under the advocacy program, we have this banner program called the I Transform campaign. So the I Transform campaign, the primary thrust of this is to localize, to meet, to achieve the fusion of the SDGs in the local communities.
Mhm.
That is why we launched the Philippines I Transform Young Leaders Convention. So in this convention, young leaders, adult leaders coming from the different parts of the country come together to brainstorm, to discuss, to become community champions, to become social innovators, and to localize the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goal.
Mhm.
Secondly, is we have the other part of the other program, which is the capacity building program. So in the capacity building program, we aim to train, we aim to hone the leadership skills and values of our young leaders, our adult leaders, our young leaders in the country. So in here, we have this primary program called the Philippines Trail Summer Camp. So in this, yeah, we have trail camp. In this trail camp, we have different there are different methodologies, transformative approaches to leadership. Trail means transformative approaches to innovative leadership. Yan po. Then we also have our last program, institutional activity or program that is Buklod. Yeah. In
Okay.
Buklod, this is actually both advocacy at the same time a capacity building program po. So, yeah, Buklod po, this is to promote peace
And culture.
and cultural
understanding.
awareness and understanding. Yes po.
And it's usually held in Mindanao.
In
And
Mindanao.
yeah, the last one we had, the first one we had, it was in Davao City last January po.
The first.
The first.
Okay. So Buklod technically just started.
Yes po. It was
Okay.
this
Launched
year.
this year.
This year lang po.
Okay. And sorry, if I may ask, what does Buklod stand for? May meaning ba yun?
Yes. Buklod stands for Bridging Understanding, Knowledge Links, and yun po.
Yes po.
Okay.
For development.
For development.
Yes.
Bridging
Ayan.
Understanding, Knowledge Links for development.
Can I just say, ang galing nyo gumawa ng acronyms.
Thank you.
Thanks to Kuya Josh.
Again, the brain and soul of our organization is Kuya John.
Si Kuya John talaga. Okay. Sana ma-meet ko din no, si Kuya John. That would
Yes,
be...
He's also looking forward to seeing you sometime po.
He's in the photos po actually dun sa presentation.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I wanna ask yung sa I Transform Young Leaders Convention. Tama ba yung
Yes.
okay. So during I Transform, is this a yearly thing? A yearly convention?
Yes po.
It's happening every September during the week where SDGs, when was SDGs are founded. So usually third week ng September. So those are some of the photos that we show in screen now. So actually yung I Transform, it's also known as PYLC. So may acronym din siya, PYLC. So it stands for Philippine I Transform Young Leaders Convention.
Mm-mm.
And actually, it
Galing.
falls during the Day of Peace, World Day of
Yes.
Peace.
World
Okay.
International Day of Peace.
Day of Peace.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we actually have
Yeah.
a total of, let's say, over 6,500 alumni
Of I
of
Transform.
iTransform po.
Since its inception in
In
2012.
2012.
6,000, that's a very big number. Congratulations to you.
Yes. Last year, we had a total of almost 1,400 participants.
In Baguio City.
Baguio. Okay. This was the one in Baguio. Yes. Okay. So, usually, but do you, kasi diba you focus on SDGs, no? So for those of you viewers who are not really familiar with SDGs, they are called the Sustainable Development Goals, provided by the United Nations. Okay, alam ko yan. Yeah, ito pa kasi diplomacy in college.
That's
So,
nice.
medyo may background. Yun. Yes. Oh, so do you focus on a certain SDG, or you usually tackle all?
Every I Transform or every convention that we have for PYLC rather, we do have certain SDGs to target or to talk or discuss about. So for example, last year, yung target namin is more about the environment. So the other year naman, nung election year, we targeted good governance, peace, justice, and strong institutions.
Right.
So
Okay.
every year,
Iba-iba kaming team.
team
Yes.
and target.
Nice. If I may ask, so September is next month. But
Yes.
given na pandemic, what are your plans for I Transform naman?
Go, Sam.
Because of the pandemic, we planned. Actually, we have this initial plan to launch PYLC in a different platform. No, like because we want to embrace the new normal. So maybe it's part of the plan that I Transform will be launched virtually, and the different competitions, no,
Yeah.
like essay writing will still be
Yeah. Giving of grants.
grants.
Okay.
Let's say,
Because our organization, for those organization or organization, we give grants.
Okay.
That
Part
is
kasi
really
ng I
important.
Transform na hindi lang siya more on convention na may mga talks, speakers. After kasi ng mga talks or sharings ng speakers, may mga pag-check kami na ginagawa kung anong mga nalilearn ng mga participants. So mayroong mga different activities like yung project proposals. We call that Kabataan Fair. Aside from that, meron ding mga pa-contest like essay writing, on the spot video making, and also a photo shoot or photography contests. We also have talks with some of the
Like their initiatives also.
Yeah, it's shared ng mga participants.
Yeah. We're also inviting speakers who also excel in their respective fields of interest, most especially when their advocacies are really aligned with the
Aligned with.
SDGs.
Yes.
Yep, agreed. That's very nice. If I may ask lang yun sa grants nyo. So you mentioned that you give grants. So what are those grants that you give out?
We actually give cash po. We actually give cash po, like in the forms of 2 tranches po.
Yeah.
So during the Kabataan Fair, these groups of young leaders will ideate, will brainstorm at the same time, will defend really their proposals to this before this group of panel or experts, panel of experts. So talagang very thorough and comprehensive yung yung screening po natin kasi imagine po, all over the country, no? Young leaders coming from different countries that will only select top three po. So the first tranche, yes po, top three. So we have winners coming from Bukidnon, Davao, Xavier University.
Tarlac,
No,
I think.
we also have from Tarlac. So marami-rami na po since its inception po. And also, yun po, money, we give grants, two tranches po. We award it po. Yes.
On the day, we have the awarding ceremony during the closing.
And also, you might ask po, what's next after it? There's naman po monitoring and evaluation po. We keep the monitoring po if the project is
Were
implemented in the respective communities po. So there is a continuing activity po. It doesn't stop or end there, like the giving of tranche or money. It must continue. As what it says, it must be sustainable.
Galing. Okay, that's really. I'm really into that. I also used to be a student leader as well. So those mga conferences are something familiar to me. So how do you get participants pala? For example, I wanna join. For example, like, am I eligible or may cut off ba kayo?
Okay, we do send, we have different ways of inviting the participants. First, we do send invitation kits sa mga schools and organizations sa community. And then another is we do have social media campaigns.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's open to those who are willing to join.
Yes. Wala naman kami age limit.
Maybe in an organization or a private individual.
Yes, individual.
We do even have participants na hindi din, yung mga young at heart. So may youth at then may mga young at heart. So we call them adult participants, adult leaders, kasi they also have their own simultaneous different conference or convention, other programs.
As a rejoinder lang po, Miss Erika, because ang usual na convention or training, yung mga advisors, yung mga chaperones, talagang chaperone lang sila, parang walang ginagawa. That's why in order for us to keep the program dynamic, why don't we give also a program or an activity for the for the adult leaders? So that is why we are at the same time empowering them, orienting them. I know yung mga
mas competitive pa sa mga
competitive pa yung mga adult leaders
sa mga youth leaders.
And also to refresh new concepts, theories po about leadership po. Yes.
In that way, they can also relate with their youth leaders.
And I think that makes our program unique
and very interesting.
Yes, interesting.
Very nabalik-balikan talaga siya ng mga youth, mga adult leaders.
Yeah.
Yes, kasi talagang you really, it's very, how do I say this? Everyone, it's really for everyone talaga. You really accept everyone. That's why iba talaga. Okay.
Actually, Miss Erika, not only the Philippines I Transform Young Leaders Convention, but also the trail camp.
Yung summer camp
yung trail. Again, trail po stands for transformative approaches to innovative leadership.
That's happening every summer.
Every summer po yan, every April. Dito po sa Bohol. Yes,
okay. So, ano nangyari for this year? Since, yun yan. I'm really curious. I wanna know kung how the organizations are really coping, no? So, how did this year go?
Actually, it was really a challenge for us in the organization because we already prepared, for example, everything, like from the logistics, from the kits, we already sent the kits, and then we already have participants who wants to join, and we plan that the trail camp will be divided into 2 legs because of the number of participants. But then here comes pandemic, here comes coronavirus. We have to cancel all our activities which are scheduled this year. But again, as what I've said, we are slowly bringing our programs into another platform in the new normal.
Yes, new better normal.
To show resiliency also.
Yeah, and this is actually a test of innovation.
Yeah, innovation.
Out of transformational leadership also.
Okay.
We innovate. No, it's a matter of, and there's no reason for us not to innovate and to rise. Yeah.
Agree. Super agree ako dyan. If I may ask, okay, where were you supposed to hold the camp in Bohol? Saan ba dapat?
Actually, this is the home of
Trail
this is actually the home of the camp, of the trail camp, which is
Mm-mm.
Bohol. Because
Yeah.
Bohol, the first conduct of the trail camp was here in Bohol. Then second, it was still in Bohol. Then third, it was in Cebu.
Cebu.
Then
Okay.
fourth, it was in Iloilo. Then fifth, so we
So-
decided to
To come
come back here
Come back.
in the
Okay.
home of the camp, which is
Yeah, we
So-
hold it in the Panglao Island.
Oh,
Yung famous Panglao
wow!
Island.
Bohol Plaza Resort.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I've never been there, but okay, I know Pangla. Because my family I have relatives in Bohol.
wow.
Yes.
In Clarin to be
Very
Yeah, Clarin.
wow.
yeah. So that's
One
why
amazing-
sorry.
What's one amazing thing? Not only Miss Erica that we teach
Hidden
them
talent.
the skills. At the end of the camp, we also give them a tour.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
It's
tour
part
them
of the
around
camp. Yeah.
Bohol.
So
Yes,
sulit na
no.
sulit talaga.
Outside tour.
For them also to get to see the beauty,
beauty
of
of
Bohol, like Chocolate Hills.
Of course. Number one
Yes.
yon.
It's known to be, God's little paradise.
Yeah, that's true. And the ano yung falls? Tama ba? No, the kalimutan ko na.
We have a lot of falls here. The
Yun-
names is in Balilihan, Kawasan Falls,
Kanumanta.
Mag-aso
Mag-aso
Falls.
Falls.
Ah, sorry, the river.
Lobok River.
Yes, Lobok River. Ba yan? Yun, of course. Of course, the tarsiers. I'm happy they're still okay pa. Sana.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, okay, now let's talk about Booklod naman. So, Booklod is your newest, the newest program that you have, and you mentioned a while ago na it's more on promoting the different cultures. Maybe we can talk about that more. So this year it was held in Mindanao, in Davao. Am I correct?
Yeah, Eden Nature
Eden
Resort.
Nature Resort.
Okay. So what do you do in Booklod naman? Is there a difference between yung I Transform and Booklod, or they're kind of the same na rin?
There are some similarities and differences, but although Booklod is more of an exchange program sa mga young leaders, and those leaders are coming from different walks of life also. But it's more of cultural exchange program.
Understanding
Also,
culture.
yeah, understanding culture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. That's more.
And that is through education.
Yeah.
We always believe that education really is a very indispensable vehicle to promote peace
And
and culture
Understanding.
cultural understanding.
Yep.
Yes, po.
Education's really important talaga. No?
Yes, po. And the focus of this, the SDGs that are being highlighted here are the SDG 4, the quality education, SDG 16,
peace and strong peace, justice, and strong
strong.
institutions.
and lastly 17, which is strong partnerships.
Strong partnerships. Yes. Okay. Okay. So very. I'm happy also that you're still on trying to push for your projects despite the pandemic, no? You mentioned a while ago that you have two types, right, of programs. The ones under advocacy and the ones under capacity building. Do you have more projects under capacity building?
Yeah. Actually, we got invites, no, from the different schools, from the different organizations, maybe community, or even
private
private companies or
Corporate.
corporate companies. Yeah, we are actually invited to give them training, team building activities. Yes po. Medyo, awa ng Diyos, medyo marami-rami na rin po yung mga engagements natin.
Yes, all over.
Yes,
Philippines.
all over the Philippines po. Yes po.
Oh, okay. So, okay. Now I understand. So, under that naman, you can also train.
Yes po.
Oh, so who does the training? Kayo din? Or you have...
Yes po.
We have pool of trainers.
Yeah.
Yes.
We actually prepared modules po, modules depending on the need of the organization. If it's corporate, then it must be
Something
tailor fit
related.
with the corporate's needs.
Needs.
Yes po. Then schools, SKs. I just would like to highlight po the SK because in Buklod, the
Participants.
The
participants, the
participant.
bulk of the participants really are Sangguniang Kabataan
Yes.
officials.
Yes.
So
Oo.
yes, we need to empower them.
Yeah.
We need to empower.
Agree. Kasi parang ngayon lang ulit bumalik yung SK, right? Kasi for
Yes
a
po.
while medyo nawala si SK. But then now, oo, tama. Actually, interesting. My next episode, I will be interviewing mga SK.
Wow.
So, oo, hope you can watch.
Yeah. Actually, Miss Erica, in the celebration of the International Youth Days, we got many invites po talaga that
Partnerships.
maraming mga SKs na nag-invite sa amin to become be their partners po. Like lately, we had engagements or partnerships with the SK Federation of Cebu City, Talisay City,
And Zamboanga.
Zamboanga, like also in Camarines
Camarines
Sur. As in, marami-rami na rin po. Most especially in localizing the SDGs since the theme of this year's IYD is youth engagement for global action.
Oh, okay. Can you also, because I know mga SKs here in the metro, no? If ever they need, can we contact you?
Sure!
Okay, great. Perfect. Okay, ikakalat ko na yan here. Tsaka next week, ikakalat ko na rin.
Actually, Miss
In line with
Erica,
that one.
in line with that, Goodness.
We have the C2C for SDGs. That's
Connect
connect to
to
collaborate for
collaborate.
SDGs.
That's our new program these days, most especially in time of
The pandemic crisis.
of this pandemic crisis. That, as what we have said, let's not limit our capacity to do more. Is it because we're in this kind of pandemic we cannot anymore continue our engagements? That is why we launched the C2C for SDGs. So we have partnership engagements with the different SKs po. And not only SKs, but also schools and other organizations.
Okay, so what do you do sa C2C? How does that work?
Yeah. Just like recently po, I got an invite to be one of the speakers po during the SK Federation Cebu City in celebration of the Linggo ng
Linggo ng
Kabataan.
Kabataan.
Yeah, I was one of the speakers along with Asek Cardama and also Attorney Mary of Cagayan de Oro. So there po, I was able also to share my knowledge and wisdom also about the SDGs po before this group of SK officials in Cebu City. Not only me po, but also Ate Nessie.
Ayun, the day that we had our parang technical run, I came actually from a speaking engagement rather with SK Tiguma, that's in Pagadian sa mga del Sur. I just introduced briefly the SDGs.
Yes. Along with Kuya John also po. Actually, Kuya John just gave his talk the other day. Yes, po. Before this group of SK officials there in Talisay
Talisay.
City. So,
Okay.
webinar series. Yes, po.
Webinar, yes. Okay. Okay. So interesting. At least, I could connect. That's also the main purpose then. One of the main purpose of the show is to also try to connect one another. Yeah. So if you can watch also next week, puro mga I invited mostly the SK. There will be 4 SK chairs from the different cities here in the metro. Ayun. Okay. So there. Okay. We talked about the programs of Youthlead Philippines. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you have any for the viewers, if you have any questions pala regarding their programs or what they do, please feel free to comment, and then we are gonna try to have them answer your questions. One more thing pala before we go on break. One more question. How do we let's say I'm interested in participating or becoming a member sa Youthlead Philippines. Are you accepting members right now?
Actually, we have a program. We do have a program for those who'd like to be part of Youthlead Philippines. We call that Staffership Academy. So every time may mga programs kami, we do have postings or SOCMED campaigns regarding the call for staffership or for those who'd like to become staffers. And there are things that you need to submit. Also, they need to undergo training
Yes.
para makapag-serve sa program na gaganapin.
Yes po. And what's one amazing thing about the Staffership Academy? Most of our volunteers are also alumni of our programs.
So from participants, naging staffer
Yes
sila.
po. And we could see really the sustainability in the leadership aspect. That that we're able also to see that these leaders that we trained are now leading also in
They
our
have
own
grown.
programs. Yes po.
In fact, may mga dating volunteers kami na naging staffer.
Staffer.
Na naging officer
na
ng
yes,
organization.
I agree. Yes
So
po.
it's really effective. Sorry,
Yeah.
go to
Yes.
You made mention on how if you're interested to join in our organization. Actually, once you before you become a member of our organization, we will send you an invitation.
Yes po.
No, during the assembly to participate in the assembly.
Yes.
Yun.
But i-clarify lang po namin, in becoming a participant in all our programs, everyone is welcome po.
Yes.
Yes po.
Okay. Any age also, right?
Regardless of your age, ethnicity,
yes,
your
background,
sex,
status.
All right.
As
So
long
we're very inclusive.
Yes po, inclusive po kami.
great to hear. So again, to the viewers watching, if you are interested, you can message them right you're on Facebook. Am I correct? Can they
Yes.
message you there? Okay, so yun. You
Yes,
can message them on Youthlead Philippines, or you can comment kayo. I wanna be a member.
Shout out
Shout
to
out to
Kuya
Tom
Tom
Cesar.
Cesar
Vergara.
Vergara. He's actually one of our alumni,
SQ
and he is
chairman.
right now the SQ chairman and the former SQ Federating
Great.
President of Tagbilaran City, and he's there watching now with us.
He's
Hello,
commanding.
Kuya Tom. Hope you're doing okay. Hi siya sa inyo. All right. Okay. So, we are gonna go on break again. But we are gonna be right back. Now, after the break, we are gonna talk to Kuya William, Ate Nessie, and Kuya Florence about their personal experiences naman while they volunteer for Youthlead Philippines. So, we are gonna be right back after these few announcements.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila. Para laging updated sa mga bagong shows, promos, trending news, viral videos, events, o patok na OPM hits, just follow us on Facebook at V81 Radio South Manila. Simple lang, itype lang ang letter V81 Radio South Manila. O, di ba madali lang? Kaya i-like at i-follow na. Kabayan, nahuhomesick ka ba? I-download na ang aming mobile app at mag-enjoy sa mga kantang tatak Pinoy and feel like you're home. The V81 Radio mobile app, available in the App Store and Google Play Store. V81 Radio mobile app, free now, free forever. Doble ang saya sa Season 2 ng Home Not Alone, Songs from Home dahil makakasama natin ang top OPM artists from GMA Music. Anthony Rosaldo, Christopher Martin, Sams David, and Golden Cañedo. Kaya tumutok na tuwing Merkules alas 7 ng gabi California Time o tuwing Huwebes alas 10 ng umaga Philippine Time. Home Not Alone, Songs from Home, Season 2. Kasama si Papa Gio. Ako yun. Sa August na, dito lang yan sa V81 Radio, Los Angeles.
Oh, not alone. I am here with you. Though you're far away, I am here to stay. Oh, not alone.
Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Welcome back to Making a Difference. Again, my name is Erika Mison, and you are watching Making a Difference. If you are just tuning in now, I have with me today the officers from Youthlead Philippines. So they are an NGO that is based in Bohol, and they focus on transformational leadership. So before the break, we got to talk to them about their programs, what they do during their programs. And now, actually, I would like to call them back to the screen. We have Kuya William, Ate Nessie, and Kuya Florence. Ayan, so there they are. Hello. Okay, now for this part of the segment, I would want to know. Let's go a bit personal. So, how long have you been volunteering for Youth Lead Philippines?
Okay. Um, I have been a volunteer of Youth Philippines since its inception or foundation po. So I am a founding member of Youth Philippines po. So actually, just to tell you also my personal journey with YLP, I used to be a part po of World Vision Development Foundation. So I used to be a child facilitator, also together with Kuya John. What's one amazing thing when Kuya John created or formed this Youth in Philippines, he actually invited all these young leaders in Bohol, no, then made a group called Youth in Philippines. No, that young leaders who share the same purpose and passion, most especially in the tenets of transformational leadership. Now, going back to my journey po, um, honestly, I was still college student at the time. I used also to be a student leader in my own school, in my own college. Then, um, in the foundation of YLP, I was able to meet Atinesi. Along the way, I was able to meet Kuya Florence.
Okay.
Wow, I mean, I was able also to know more people who also like who are also empowered, no, who are also who have this sense of passion, no, and of course this sense of sharing what they have for the community. Yes po, then that's it po. That's my personal journey with
Okay.
now, and it continues on and on now that I'm working as a teacher, as a research and extension coordinator, all the things that I have learned. I mean, I must say na nga, marami talaga naiambag yung YLP po.
Okay. Thank you, Kuya William. Yeah.
Yeah, on my personal note naman po, I was able to came upon this very empowered and inspiring young leaders ng Bohol when I've got to meet Kuya Jan during our days at TOSP, or it's also known as the Outstanding Students of the Philippines. So Kuya Jan is also an alumni of that. I'm also an alumni of TOSP. And then when they had to conduct the Philippine Trail Summer Camp, that was way back in 2013, I was asked by Kuya Jan to join as a staffer po. So yun, from that year onwards, 2013, I've been active and part of Youthlead Philippines. So because of Youthlead Philippines, marami pa akong nakilala, mga taong very inspirational, mga taong kahit walang tulog, walang kain, smiling pa rin. They are really doing all the best that they can just to help our country to become better, just to inspire young leaders to be more of a help in the community. So yun po, until now, I'm still inspired and awed and being at awe sa mga nagagawa ng mga young leaders natin. And dahil sa Youth Lead Philippines.
Thanks, Ate Nessie. Okay.
So my journey to Youthlead Philippines, it all started in 2015 when I became the chairman of the Bohol Alliance of Student Councils. This is an organization composed of different student councils all over Bohol. And then on that year also, I was invited to deliver a topic in Trail in 2015, which was held in Cebu. And it's all about student welfare, which is in line with my work right now. I could say that this organization honed me to become what I am today. That because this organization taught us to be grounded on the values that we have. That no matter your achievements in life, you should remain grounded, and that's the very important thing I've learned when I joined this organization. And not only that, I was able also to connect or to benchmark or to create networks with other schools and organizations. And in the organization, where I found not just only friends, colleagues, but a family to hold on. Every time that you have this, for example, problems we can talk to, we can laugh with, and um, also being a volunteer, no, it should that these no matter how exhausted you are because of that activity, but it all goes back to the point that why is it that you were there? Why is it that you were given this task? It's because for all for to hone other leaders also by doing no that transformational leadership.
Yeah. And also, Miss Erica, we're able to see or to witness our own transformation in
Yes.
ourselves. Like, I know, hindi po ako
In the
ganito.
photos.
In the photos po talaga. Skinny. I was skinny.
Skinny.
Talaga, bata pa talaga. Until that I become, ganito na po. Malusog na po.
No, because what looks unique in this organization, maraming pagkain.
Yes, po. And also,
Dapat.
Miss Erica, our organization is composed of young professionals now.
Yes.
We have a colleague who is a doctor, a colleague who is
A lawyer.
engineer,
A lawyer.
A lawyer.
But whenever we meet during activities, we don't actually give high regards to ourselves that I am a doctor, I
Yes.
am an engineer,
I am a-
but we are all the same. We touch the same ground. No, so ganun po, pantay, same lang po yung talagang
Tingin namin sa
tingin namin
bawat isa.
sa bawat isa po.
Yeah, which is very important nowadays. So I'm very happy to know that actually based on what you've been talking about, I can see that Youthlead Philippines is really helping the youth naman. So props to Youthlead Philippines. Very very proud. Maybe one of you, or actually each of you, could share an experience, no, something that you would remember until how many years?
A lifetime. A
A
lifetime.
lifetime.
All right. Yeah, maybe each of you could share an experience.
Yes. Siguro one of the most memorable experience that we had in Youth League was during the great earthquake here in Bohol. That was way back 2013. October, malapit na yung
October
anniversary.
15.
October 15, 2013.
Yes.
So, even though we were struck by the great earthquake, Youth League Philippines was able to form the Bangon Bohol Relief Drive, or BBRD. So, in October 2015, we were able to reach different barangays, different towns here in Bohol to give aid, not just relief goods, but we do have a relief mission wherein we do checking of the health or
Medical.
medical condition of the constituents. We also give stress debriefing, and then we also check their condition. So yun, marami kaming nakikitang mga tao na although wala na silang bahay, nawalan sila ng mahal sa buhay, but they're still smiling, they're still sharing na kakayanin nila yon. So parang that was a very inspirational journey.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, I know about the earthquake. No?
As a rejoinder also with what Ate
yes.
Nessie shared, ang maganda po doon is finding the silver lining po.
Yes.
Biktima rin po kami, but still we're able po to help others.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that we're a victim of the earthquake or any disaster or circumstance, bad circumstance or unfortunate circumstance. You have no reason anymore to share or to help others. So that's why we told ourselves po na nga, should we stop in here? No, let's continue. Because this is actually a high time for us to let others feel that they're loved, that they're cared, that they're actually important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
why yes. We're also sharing now
The photos.
the photos of Bangon Bohol Relief Drive.
Yay.
These are
Okay,
photos
more
po.
photos. Yeah. There we go.
There you go po.
Okay. So this is during the drive.
Marami pong nagtatanong sa amin, Miss Erica, how did we do it po, the Bangon Bohol Relief Drive? Considering that all of us are young. Mga bata pa po kami, we are this young, we just maximize the available resources po. We're able actually to have a sponsor or donors from St. Luke's Medical po, Gets Pharma. We're able to collect actually a sum of millions po in kind and in cash po.
Actually, not only in Bohol when we were struck by earthquake.
Yes po.
It's during Yolanda.
Yolanda, in the same year, when
Yes.
Leyte was hit by the Super Typhoon
Yolanda.
Yolanda, we're also able po to extend help po.
And that is known as one
One
Bohol.
Bohol.
In fact, kami po yung mga
First.
una sa
Una sa mga
nakatulong.
na-responde po.
Oo.
Doon sa Leyte po, sa Tacloban. So, Youthlead Philippines actually took the lead in forming the One Bohol. So, with the tagline, we are one, we care, we are one Bohol. Because we actually have this understanding that it's because they experienced the super typhoon, we actually empathize them. Because it's not actually easy to be in that situation. That's why may natira po namang mga goods po. That's why we also invited medical team na pumunta po doon
And a
sa
pool of volunteers.
Yes po.
And that's the One Bohol.
There in the photo, you can see
Yes.
the different organizations who are composing Bohol.
Yeah, it's a consortium of different organizations in Bohol.
Great. Very okay. Do we have more photos pa?
Yes po.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Okay. So this is
Okay po. Okay. Those are the other programs.
Those are the yeah.
okay. Okay, so that's really yeah. I because I heard about the earthquake. So it's really nice that you took initiative despite nga na you yourselves are also you were also victims, as you mentioned, no, Kuya William. So talagang Youthlead Philippines, it's not just about transformational leadership, but it's also really being very inclusive. Diba? All right. So there you go. These are the officers of Youthlead Philippines, Kuya William, Ate Nessie, and Kuya Florence. Again, if you're interested to join Youthlead Philippines, you can message them on Facebook. Maybe may mga shout-outs pala kayo. Ayan, there pala. Okay, so you can find them on Facebook.
There.
Yes. Shout out to Kuya Ruel Olila. He's from Cebu. He's one
Yes.
of our staffers before. Also, we have Ate Bea.
Ate Bea.
From Batangas.
Francine Luna.
From Batangas.
From Batangas.
Las
Batangas.
Yeah, one of our youngest staffer po.
Yes,
she was just senior high school when she joined us as a staffer.
She volunteered po.
Yes.
And she's also po one of our alumni po sa aming program sa Trail at saka sa
Yes.
iTransport.
Okay, hi Ate Bea. Bea. Ate. Okay, so kayo may mga maybe you could share your last words. Last words tama ba? Or maybe may mga insights kayo that you would want to share or mga reminders that you would give to the viewers, especially sa mga kabataan nowadays.
Ms. Erika, before we somewhat give our takeaways po, allow us po to share to everyone our future plans in the organization po.
Sure,
Yes,
sure,
po. Yes. First, actually, in the list is the Amplifying Convergence for Education, or ACE.
ACE.
Yes, po. Yeah, in the Amplifying Convergence for Education, or ACE project po, it aims to promote local convergence in supporting the needs of the education sector, both formal and non-formal, in adapting to the new learning systems under the better normal. This action will form part of our commitment to SDG 4, which is quality education, and SDG 17, partnerships for the goals, under the framework of the iTransform campaign of YLP.
Okay.
Yes,
So how will that work? May mga concrete plans na ba kayo for this?
Yeah, actually po, we'll be having our meeting po next week po to discuss concretes po. And then, it so happened po na we were able to discuss about this like few days ago po. So next meeting, yes po. I mean, we're still free po and open po to share to everyone our future plans po. The moment these are actually finalized. We have also our second future plan, which is
our second future plan is saving mulmol. Parrotfish is known in our local dialect as mulmol. Since we all know the declining number of parrotfish, no, in our seas, no, that leads to because of this imbalance of consumption. And we all know that the very crucial the role of parrotfish in our sanctuaries, in our coral reefs. So that is why we come up with this initiative or program now to give the importance of mulmol and to pass the legislation targets to regulate the fishing of mulmol or parrot fish. This action will form of our commitment to SDG number 14, which is life below water, and SDG 17, partnerships for the goals under the framework of I Transform campaign of our organization.
Okay. Parrotfish? Tama ba?
Parrotfish.
Parrotfish.
Oh, I've
Diba,
never heard of that.
yeah,
How did you do
parrotfish, yun kumakain ng algae, and then yung weight nila,
Mga
it fall into sand.
Sand. Yes po.
Okay.
Carbohydrate. Yes po.
They balance the ecosystem, no?
And
Oo.
they are endangered now.
And they're
they're
actually endangered now.
Kasi bilihin talaga siya sa market.
Yes po.
Especially ng mga Bisaya. They love mulmol.
Yeah.
Hindi ko,
Or paksiw.
pa natatry ang mulmol. Can you describe the taste? Parang,
Actually, it tastes good, but because
It's
of
bluish.
Bluish.
Parang
bluish
blue-green.
green,
okay.
it's a colorful fish.
Yes.
It's a colorful
Okay,
fish.
And we also have one last micro project, which
Yes,
is
we have the Bayanihan Citizen Project. It's a good governance and democracy initiative of YLP. It aims to encourage citizens or youth who are already in the voting age to register and vote and exercise their right of suffrage.
yes.
So, lapit pa yung election, yeah.
Exercise your right to vote, everyone. Ako,
Yes po.
it is
So,
our duty and responsibility as citizens to
Yes.
practice the right to vote.
So for that project, we
Online.
need to have a social media campaign for that.
Online,
Okay.
Shout out din pala.
Karingal.
Another
Shout out po kay Ate Ella Karingal.
Also from De La Salle pa.
Yes,
Yes,
together.
One of our organizations.
Yes.
Hello. Ayan, daming nag-hi din sa inyong tatlo. Okay, so there you have it. Again, baka may mga takeaways kayo that you would wanna share to the viewers, especially sa mga fellow kabataan.
Yeah. Again, on behalf of Youthlead Philippines, we would like to convey our sincerest gratitude to the organizers of this amazing program. Most especially to you, Miss Erika, for coming up with this Making a Difference program. Also,
which is
Ate Dean, actually
Trailer.
one of the organizers is our one of our alumni.
2017.
Yes.
A trailer po.
Yes.
Yes po. So thank you po for
Inviting
us, for sharing to you our humble stories, our humble journey of transformational leadership po sa YLP. So I know that in these days we are faced with many problems and obstacles in the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has altered our way of life, triggered drastic changes, and limited even our movements and interactions. It has affected communities all over the world and has caused a lot of anxieties, especially for the youth. Now, but we also believe that there is no reason for the youth not to rise and engage. There is no reason for the youth not to act, not to honor what our heroes expect us to be as the hope of our motherland. There is no reason for us youth not to take leadership in the community. And above all, there's no reason for us, the youth, not to make a difference.
Ganda naman. Oh, thank you so much. That's really nice.
Yeah, as we always say, ambulate and luminate today, walk in the light of faith.
Oh, ganda. Nice. I love it. Thank you, Youthlead Philippines. Super, what, I really enjoyed today's episode. I hope nag-enjoy din kayo. And you know what, I really do hope to see you soon. As I mentioned, I have relatives in Bohol. Shout out. Actually, I wanna give a shout out to them since I have relatives in Bohol and Cebu actually. So the Paraguyas, the Misons, and the Medianos. Yan. Dami. I want to say hi to my lolos and lolas, si Lola Lilette, Lola Poy, Lola Norma, Lola Ondoy, Lola Cherry, and Lola Delia, and all my titos, my titas, my cousins in Bohol and Cebu. Hello, hope you're watching. And yun, so sana ma-meet ko kayo if, if let's say okay na lahat and papuntahin ako ng Bohol, baka may mag-reunion, I will call you.
Mag-tour tayo.
I will call you and
Sure.
yay. Okay. Thank you so much, Kuya William, Ate Nessie, Kuya Florence. Please continue to stay safe. And I will see you soon. Best wishes to Youthlead Philippines. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
All right, so there you go. That was Youthlead Philippines. They, it's very inspiring. I really like their advocacy, on transformational leadership. As I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, as cheesy as it sounds, we, the youth, we are the future leaders, and it's very important as early as now to really mold one another, and to really and to also learn. You get to learn from one another. You get to learn different views, different insights, and I believe that will help each one of us in terms of education. That's what I personally believe in. I like that is why I like talking to people. I love talking to people, as you can see, because I get to learn also from them, and that's how you learn, not just by the books, but also experiences. Again, talking to one another. I want to give a shout out. I forgot. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Tribu NGA 2017. I heard that you're watching. So hello, everyone. Thank you for watching today's episode. And everyone who is part of Youth Lead Philippines and who has been supporting Youth Lead Philippines. Again, if you want to join or know more about Youth Lead Philippines, you can visit them on their Facebook page, Youth Lead Philippines. That's it. And yeah, okay. So before I end, of course, gotta remind all of you that V81 Radio, we have more shows for you. So after me tonight at 6 p.m., we have Madame Venus, and then we also have Rainbow Society to end your Saturday nights. And of course, tomorrow, we also have shows. We have Startup Nation in the morning, Talk Shop Asia. We have Napalm, that's the new alternative Pinoy music. Tama ba? And then we also have Let's Chat with Tita Gracie. And to end your Sunday nights, we have Musta Pops. Again, if you want to know more about our shows, you can you can like us on Facebook, V81 Radio. We're also on Instagram and on Twitter. We have new shows. We're coming up with new shows. So stay tuned for that. Our V81 Radio family is growing, and I'm really, really excited for that. Don't forget to like also Making a Difference on Facebook. If you have any questions or if you just want to chat with me, feel free to send a message on the Facebook page, and I will personally reply back to you. And yeah, so that's it for today's episode. Again, I would just like to remind all of you, we are still going through this pandemic. So if ever you do need to go out, please don't forget to wear your face masks, practice social distancing, practice proper hygiene. And again, if you don't really need to go out, please, please, please stay at home. We are going to get through this pandemic together as long as we work with one another. All right, so that's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you all next week, same time, same place. Stay safe, everyone. Bye.
The program for the millennials that will showcase young professionals' worth, aspirations, and successes in doing what they believe is right, progressive, and inclusive. Making a difference. Making a difference. Join them as they discover the path to self and societal fulfillment while making a difference. Hosted by empowered and cool millennial Erika Mison. Together with her cool millennials, they will be making a difference. Every Saturday, 3 p.m. Philippine time. Only here on V81 Radio. South Manila.
Tunog
Pinoy, Tatak Pinoy. The future of radio. This is your all hits, all Pinoy internet radio station. This is V81 Radio Worldwide.
Ito ang paborito ng bawat Pilipino. Basta all hits, all Pinoy, panalo. Merong kwentong iyakan at tawanan. Kahit nasaan ka man, ito'y